everybody, it's Mike, and yeah, a little bit of a different one for you. I have been playing this game since I picked it up, and it's the first game in such a long time that I've started playing after I kind of finished work. So I kicked off after we put the baby to bed, about 9 p.m, something like that, and lo and behold, the next time I looked outside, the sun had come back up. It had gone down, and it had come back. This is Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Now, before we get into this, understand where I'm coming from. I'm not a fan of the Assassin's Creed genre at all. In fact, the only experience I have with it is picking up the pad after, you go to a friend's house, they're playing Assassin's Creed or they're playing some game, and they're like, do you want to go? And I picked it up and it's like, yeah, I don't like stealth games and this is really annoying me because it looks really boring for me. And so I've never really cared too much about Assassin's Creed at all. So when I heard about Black Flag, I kind of instantly dismissed it. And then I started hearing, hey, it's got this whole pirating aspect. The stealth stuff is in the game, the usual assassin stuff. But frankly, it stands alone as well, because there are so fucking many Assassin's Creed games that it's almost like the Metal Gear Solid genre. I'm not a fan of those either, but I'm kind of tempted to pick up the new ones and hoping they can stand on their own 2 feet. So, for any of you who've not wanted to get this game because you missed some of the Assassin's Creed games, or perhaps you missed the last couple, let me explain the situation to you as to how this game bypasses all of that and allows you to just pick this one up and get away with it. I can't say for sure how the other games worked, so if I make some newbie errors for those of you who are kind of die-hard Assassin's Creed guys, I apologise. But in this world, you are an employee. I believe you are female. Not that it matters too much, but it does kind of relate to something that happens in an overworld story. This is your overworld, and you're an employee of Abstergo Entertainment. I assume the name Abstergo means something to somebody. Doesn't mean anything to me, and it in fact doesn't matter, which is the point of why I'm telling you. And Abstergo Entertainment is essentially using the Animus, which allows you to go back in time in the memories of other people and relive their lives in order to record it. That is your job, is to record the memory so they can turn it into entertainment for consumers, for the public. So essentially, if you've ever seen Total Recall, you're the guy who actually goes and lives out the memory that you're then going to give to other people. So this is your overworld. Kind of looks like, I would imagine, what Google looks like. There's fucking beanbags and shit everywhere. And this is my cubicle. Get my own little cubicle. These are my figurines of success, which point out that I've done rather well. I have finished this game now in terms of its story. There is 1,000,001 collectibles, which I assume that's what unlocks most of this stuff. But these are all major characters that are a part of the story. So you can see instantly a lot of major characters. And this game really, for me, highlights what we expect of a AAA game. Because there's a lot of articles around at the moment that AAA games have suffered, which a lot of people say they have, in comparison to the indie genre, mainly because of the global recession. People just had less money, were a bit more choosy, and AAA games are expensive, whereas we can pick up many indie games for the same amount of money. And not only that, we had some really disappointing AAA games last year. There was no doubt about that. No wonder I'm the best employee. Look at these guys. What the fuck are you doing? Got yourself an iPad? I've got an iPad too. You go check other people's cubicles to see how slacky they are in their progress. Look at this guy. Hardly any statues at all. Amateur. Playing guitar though. So when I look at AAA games, as somebody who doesn't make content, sort of brand new content about AAAs and kind of feel the need to pick them up, I look at them and I'm like, nah, I got fucking nearly 300 hours out of Binding of Isaac and it cost me £2. This thing's like $60 and I'm always wary about doing it. So in this case, I think it's worth mentioning, and the reason I wanted to show this to you is that this game is more than worth the money. It is exactly what I expect from a AAA game these days, and it's easily, if I would have played this in 2013, I would have said this was my game of the year. Absolutely. I fucking adored it and played it start to finish. Anytime I had a spare moment, if I was rendering a video, I'm straight onto doing this. If I'd finished writing for the night, I was straight onto doing this. So, into context, this is the overworld. Infrequently, you'll be pulled back out of the actual pirating memory adventure with your Oculus Rift type rip-off there to meet your boss and to speak to the PR people. And that is on the basis that you are creating a piece of entertainment for people. And they use this area kind of for a lot of advertising. They also pay homage to the older games. If I can show you this on my iPad thingy. I'm not going to show you everything here. A lot of this stuff is collectible. You end up hacking a lot of computers to find out more detailed information around things. And also this overworld has its own story as well, which is something we're going to go into depth on, is every single element of this game has its own individual story and take on what's happening. So what you'll find is, yes, it does have the main story campaign, but that I would easily say it's about 20% of the actual game is the overall campaign. The rest of the stuff is all extras that you should go and find. So I'm sorry if I murder these names for Assassin's Creed fans, but these are things that you pick up, and they are from the idea of this company that's making entertainment. Is it's looking back through ancestors to see whether or not they would be suitable candidates for actually creating a memory sequence for public consumption. So I believe this is Altair or Altair. That's Ezio. I don't know these two. I think that's the Assassin's Creed Liberation girl, maybe. But I'll show you what these are like, and they're kind of like what you'd expect the big bosses upstairs to say about these characters if they were going to make something for a movie. So I'll show you.
Our researchers looked into the life of Altair Ibn Lahad, hoping to find a biography that might serve as a positive role model for Abstergo's global outreach programs. Unfortunately, this renegade assassin proved to be no such thing. In much of his footage, we see a man gleefully flouting some of his culture's most entrenched taboos with an arrogance that borders on messianic.
Altair, no! This is not our way! To burn a man's body is forbidden!
Many of our researchers felt that the arguments articulated by Altair's rival, a man known as Abbas, were clearer and more cogent than any we heard from Altair. I've recently put in a request that more effort be dedicated to locating one of Abbas's descendants, if any exist. It's clear to us that Altair's transgressions were the primary motivation behind the ultimate dissolution of his despicable order by the middle of the 13th century. We therefore strongly recommend a pass on this property, in favor of a more agreeable and inspiring figure from this era.
So there you go. They're looking. They make kind of open-minded comments on what common-day developers would be thinking about making something for mass consumption. They also use this area to poke fun at a lot of things that you can imagine actually go on in the workplace. A particularly cool email that you hack, because everything here can be translated into a game development studio at the same time. Is they point, there's somebody pointing out is, hey, we have all this technology. We can go and visit ancestors of really great people like Albert Einstein is brought up. So why the hell are we spending all this money and time on going back and researching bloodthirsty pirates instead of going at looking at really, truly great people? And then, of course, the big bosses from upstairs come back with the answer is, we make way more money doing this, and quite frankly, if you want to be researching and doing that sort of educational stuff, you're in the wrong business. Get the fuck out. Blood and money and cutthroat stuff sells, and your education stuff does not. Kind of funny if you're into that kind of thing. So there's your animus. You'll go to your workstation. Now, what I'm going to do is this game does allow me to actually sort of quick travel through things. Now, the whole aim I'm showing you this is to show you how much extra is in the game. The depth of the game is enormous. So mind-bogglingly enormous that it's hard to comprehend without sort of a quick overview. But what I'm not going to do is, obviously, I finished the story, so there's no risk of spoilers there. Whoa! That boat, though. I love that when that happens. I love how it comes into the game. So cool. So we'll get to that in a moment, but that is your ship. That's the jackdaw. Right. So here we go. This is the island. This is my island, which I fucking love that I got this. This is my island, and everything about this game makes you feel like a pirate. There's your main character. That's Edward Kenway. Don't tell me I forget his name after playing through this thing. But this is my island, and everything you see here is pretty much designed and added on by me. So that tavern is something I purchased for the island. I purchased this harbour master to upgrade my ship. The general store, I believe, is there. Yeah, so I can buy guns and ammo. I have a brothel. Here is my brothel. It's beautiful. And first thing you're going to notice is this game is fucking beautiful. I've never been so happy to play a game on max settings with 60 FPS because, my God, especially when we get out to sea. I'm hoping I can show you a thunderstorm. I really am hoping I can show you a thunderstorm. Because the thunderstorms, the serious ones, are rare. The really serious thunderstorms, but my God, is it beautiful. If you've ever seen Pirates of the Caribbean 3, the final battle in there, not the fourth one, which was awful. The final battle in Pirates of the Caribbean 3, where they fight in the Twisters, and they have the huge waves and stuff. It is exactly like that, but you're in complete control. So, on top of this, yes, this is my island. It's enormous. I'll show you a quick map. Now, every island is pretty much the same size, so although it looks like everything is based around this bay, this island actually stretches all the way down here. And what you'll find is things like animals, wild pigs, I believe these are iguanas on this island yet, are used for crafting. So every single time you go to a new island, you will find things like that. These humpback whale skin, ocelot pelts. These are all your upgrades. So these are pistol holsters, so I can hold 4 pistols now. I remember every pistol in the olden days only has 1 shot, so if you want to fire multiple rounds, you simply just need more guns. Health upgrades, iguanas. So I would come here and say, oh, there's iguanas on this island, and then you go hunting. You actually go hunting and skin the animals. Deer hides, jaguar pelts, great white sharks. You'll go harpooning for things like that. I believe I haven't made everything. There's something I'm missing, which is a rare event. The white whale, which is Moby Dick, essentially. But it tells you, this is something I love. As a guy who isn't into collectibles, I've got to say, the fact that it tells you what you're going to get is awesome. Because I could just look at this whaler outfit, and although I did fight the white whale twice, it was purely because I was next to it. It's a rare spawn kind of thing. I saw the whaler outfit, and I'm just not interested. I'm not going hunting for that. Like Shark Hunter, finding hammerhead sharks or bull sharks isn't that hard, but looking at that outfit, nah, not for me. Whereas this armor I'm wearing here, if I'm getting the light a little bit, this is actually the rare Mayan armor. You have to complete another bunch of quests and series of events in order to unlock this Mayan armor, but I actually thought it looked really cool, so I was more than happy to take part in that. So many games have these things that you do and you don't know what they unlock or what they do, and you end up doing it and then being disappointed. I'm so happy this game isn't like that, because there are a lot of collectibles. So here is my mansion. Now I've pimped this out completely, which is, again, it's just one of those things that you can and don't have to do. It doesn't gain you anything. I even put this bell tower on it, and I have a guest house. It asked me to add a guest house, and I don't know where it is. I think I paid something like 90,000 reales, as they're called, the currency in the game, in order to get my guest house. I've really no fucking idea where it is. But what I did get is this lovely sort of colonial house. But, as my character is Welsh, or just considered to be from England, he's sort of decked out in an English style, nice wooden white beams and so on. But this is, again, is a house that you steal. You're a pirate. So you commandeer this island, this compound as it's called through the game. And it's an old Templar place. And this is another example. As you can see this armor behind here, this Templar armor, needs 5 keys. And that unlocks, again, a further story. Well away from the main story to actually go and get that Templar armor. But it shows you beforehand what that armor looks like. Again, absolutely fucking fantastic in my eyes. So cool. So we'll go out to the open sea. I'm going to be skipping through because I want to show you various stuff. So this is one island. And what you'll find is every island has these. Mayan steles, which unlock the Mayan armor. Viewpoints, which if you played Assassin's Creed or know anything, you'll know they're in there. Basically big cinematic high up areas where you get an overview of the island. Treasure chests, song sheets, which are actually really important. The song sheets are things that your crew will actually sing while you're out in the open ocean. So if you don't pick up a few song sheets, you're going to be hearing the same chanties over and over again. Animus fragments, which are just little platforming events, climbing trees and whatnot, and various secrets, which are usually stories or notes or whatever. So once you've unlocked a place, you can fast travel it. Now here's the world. This is where my mind went, wow, okay, so this is kind of a serious game. So here's my little, this is the Great Inagua, obviously a take on Iguana, and this is my island, and then it spreads out, and yeah, every single one of these is a fucking island or something to be done. These are all collectibles out in the world. I can't be arsed picking these up. I know some of you will go crazy knowing these are there. But every single one of these is an event, and then you've got your major cities on top of that. So you've got places like Havana. As you can see, they have 8 of the viewpoints. We'll check out Havana, or we'll check out somewhere else, just to give you an idea of how large these major cities are, because they really are. Kingston is another major one. I'm not sure which one that's Long Bay. That's for something else. And everything here is just seriously fucking cool. And I can't exaggerate that enough. They're so cool. So these diving bells, if we skip over to we can fast travel to these. This is an extra stuff that you'll find out in the world. Now, the story actually takes place over years. Literally years. And it reminds you frequently that this is an event that's happened to this guy over years and years and years of him sailing the oceans. And you don't really appreciate that, but the quest and the devs want you to appreciate the rest of this game. So much they want you to appreciate the rest of this game, is that after most quests, they will openly tell you, hey, come and meet me at the next major quest point in the couple of months, is what they will tell you in the quest. It's like, okay, meet me in a few weeks, meet me in a couple of months, and when you're out, you're actually just sailing the oceans, which is again, beautiful, by the way. I mean, a lot of people say Bioshock Infinite was beautiful. Bioshock Infinite had generally one look. It was gorgeous, but it was the one kind of look. The weather is such a major factor in this that I'm hoping we get some weather changes. I'm going to show you that. So you'll find things like these diving bells, these shipwrecks. And you'll straight up just get in your diving bell and you'll dive down to the bottom of the ocean. And you'll investigate shipwrecks. There'll be sharks and stuff swimming around. There'll be eels trying to bite you. And there'll also be things like humpback whales swimming around to really provide you some atmosphere. The whales will be singing. You can see the sharks and stuff in the distance. I'm not going to spoil this stuff by actually showing you. So I'll give you an idea. This is all the extra stuff that goes on in the game. And this is where it really sort of grabbed me. When I tell you that I did pretty much the entire world was only about 20% through the story, I'm not exaggerating that that's what happened. Because you can see how much shit there is going on. In this area alone, there are 6, 7, 8, 9 boats here that I can be sort of considering taking over. Get this spyglass so you can check out what they've got and see what's happening with these ships. And, you know, you can't go more than... It is such an enormous world. You can't travel more than 30 seconds without bumping into something to do. Maybe you've just stumbled across some temples. Maybe you stumbled across these forts. And every time you take over these forts, they actually change the waters to be open water. You're really in the middle of a war that's going on between the English and the Spanish for control of the Caribbean. So these forts will either be English or Spanish controlled. Now, when you take them over, you actually have to defeat them. They have sort of mortars and cannon walls. You actually have to defeat them with your ship. You actually change this local area up until sort of the next fort, like here, into open water. Not pirate-controlled water. But it does mean that you can sail through these areas without aggroing ships. If I hadn't taken over this fort, every single one of these ships would be aggroed on me right now. They would be able to see me, and they would be like, you don't belong in our waters. This is Spanish-controlled waters. You are down for a kicking. We're going to kick the fuck out of you. And that's what happens. So what I'm going to do is actually pull over here and show you an idea with the ship. So again, this is the Jackdaw. Oh, I've got into this. We'll just skip out of this. So the Jackdaw, you can't rename your ship, which is a bit of a bummer. I would really have liked to rename the ship, but it is referenced a hell of a lot throughout the main story campaign, so it's really, you know, you can see why it wasn't a choice. They wouldn't have liked that if they just had to say your ship over and over again. The Jackdaw is a decent enough name. It really is. It's just named after a little bird. And it's a little pity that you can't rename it. I would say that I'm about to show you the more of the side stuff. Is every time you defeat a vessel. So if I was to try and conquer these vessels here, let me move away from this feature. If I move away from that so I don't get the docking command and actually let go of my steering wheel. I gotta have a little wander around my ship. Using my free running skills. Yeah. Going to my captain's cabin, which is totally fucking legit. Love my captain's cabin. Got it all decked out. Pretty nice. Every time you capture defeat a vessel, you can board it. You can either use its resources to repair your own ship. You can use your sort of sway to lower your wanted level. If you kill too many ships, then pirate hunters will come after you, bounty hunters. And or you can add that ship to your fleet. And then when you come into here and access your fleet, this is a totally side game from the main game again, which is fucking incredible. As you can see, I've captured another ship. You'll actually capture the ship and you'll get this option here. So I've defeated the HMS Odin, which is a man-of-war class galleon. And he's seriously badass. 66 firepower, 80 cargo space. You might not appreciate how good that is, but it is good. So I'm going to add a dock. So I can add that to my fleet. So now I can add this ship to my fleet. I now have this. And what you'll do is you actually get these mini games where you will... I can pick up collectibles. You'll send your ships that you own, which are mostly, in my case, man-of-war class vehicles. Oh, little collectibles. On trade missions across the globe. As you can see, you'll get this map here. And you'll have this naval map. Now, this is a kind of... it's almost like a mobile phone minigame, is what I would say it is. Because the battle system here, if we go to the Bay of Biscay, you can see it's red. So this is real treacherous waters. It's actually a very dangerous place. So the Bay of Biscay is really treacherous. It's bright red. So what I can actually say is, ship battle. I want to make these waters safer. And you'll get this minigame. So I can now choose my boats. So if I choose these man-of-war class vessels, which are fucking hardcore. Yeah, seriously hardcore. So I have a 100% chance of success here. Need to repair my vessels because they can lose sometimes, which is a little bit sad. Repair my ships. So they're completely badass. Yep. So I've got 3 man-of-war class galleons going up against 1 man-of-war and 2 frigates. Launch the battle. And you get this kind of mini-game. It's kind of fun. Now, the reason that I'm showing you this is I had the weird moment where I couldn't do any trade missions because because I didn't know how to get resources. I was like, where do I acquire the resources? Because they're not the usual resources that you actually claim through the game from defeating vessels. And then I remembered, oh yeah, pirate. And it's actually via these mini-games. So what we'll do is we'll fight these. Oh, the fortress took a kick in then. Oh, that man of war is going to take a couple of hits. Don't attack the frigate. Oh, no. I've got a feeling I'm going to lose the HMS Fortress here. This will be really sad. You have no control over this. Just a silly mini-game. The game appreciates how easy it is to acquire vessels, which is something I really like. It actually appreciates that. So we won. Cool. Didn't lose one. Little victorious there. And that'll then give me the resources. So I was like, it truly is a pirate thing. That makes them waters safer. I could do more battles there to make them green. You can see the Gulf of Mexico is relatively safe. And then there's more and more opportunity for my vehicles to not only achieve their trade routes, because then I could use the option to do the trade routes, but they'll also be able to do that and earn me a lot of money without taking any damage. Which is really cool. So you'll actually capture the resources via these little mini games, and then you'll send your ships out. And as you can see, they take a hell of a long time. If I look at this one, that's a 6-hour mission, which is stuff you'll set going before the end of the night. Not something you're supposed to continuously do in game by any means. A lot of these missions can take up to like 19 hours. Very cool if you're only playing for a couple of hours at a time and you want to just earn a lot of extra money, so you can send your ships out to do that. So let's look at the ship. This is the thing most people are excited about, is getting your own ship, and you do. The Jackdaw. So you can do everything. You can transmog the crap out of it. You can change the sail colours. You can add figureheads to the front of it. I believe at the moment I have the Crimson Blood sails, because they just look badass. And a gargoyle head on the front, because why not? Gargoyles are fucking cool, aren't they? I've got the Crimson sails, so that's mine, and the gargoyle figurehead, because I just thought it looked cool. Doesn't do much for you. But what you can then go into is your upgrades, and this is where it gets really cool, because your ship starts out garbage, and right now my Jackdaw is the fucking scourge of the seas. Nothing can defeat this thing, which is awesome. There's legendary ships are the only thing that could possibly sink me, and that's because you get this elite set of stuff: elite hull, elite set of cannons, elite set of broadside cannons. So I have 46 cannons total on this ship. When you fire them off, and we'll show you that pretty soon, is fucking badass. And a big elite ram. Now, you see I haven't maxed everything. Some stuff's missing, because these elite things actually are plans. Now, these come from the treasure maps, diving under the ocean in those shipwrecks. All that kind of stuff is where you're going to find those. Again, a lot more depth. If you want to really upgrade your ship, you're going to be out sailing the seas for a long time, and it's a lot of fun to do that. The same with the weapons. You can see I've got some very cool pistol swords. I believe these are the best in the game. They've got guns attached to them, so you'll literally stab someone in the face and then shoot a gun into their face to get your sword back out. Beautiful. But there's all sorts of different looks and styles that you were going for. Same with the pistol sets. I'm using these really cool gilded ones. I actually got these by completing all naval contracts, which I did purely optionally. I didn't know there was a reward, but the naval contracts were very cool. They were going out hunting down slavers, hunting down people who were grave robbers on their boats, finding them in the ocean, bringing them to justice, and then I got a reward for that, which is very cool. These lovely little pistols. Same with the outfits. Again, it shows you pretty much every outfit in the game. So you can see there's that Templar armor that we saw in my first base, which was, I thought it looked badass, so I went with it. That's the mine outfit I'm wearing now, which gives me sort of gun protection, I believe. You get the stealth outfit, Templar armor, and it shows you all this stuff. I adore this. In a game with so many collectibles, to tell me what I get. What do I get if I do that? Oh, that looks like shite. I'm not going to bother with that. Thank you for telling me, though, because if I liked it, cool. If I didn't like it, I don't want to waste time on it. So if you say equip the Templar armor, give me a quick transmog change. I also think this is a very cool one as well. Very, very nice. So there you go. That's how you transmog it up. And you can see once you get all the elite stuff, is your ship will start to look gold. Nothing says pirate like a hell of a lot of gold. Gotta love the gold stuff going on there. So before we get into a ship battle, and hopefully we'll kick up a storm, which would be really nice, I just want to show you an idea of the major cities. So each fort, each diving bell is a shipwreck, which tells you it contains an upgrade plan. So again, it tells you what's there. It's so good that it does that, and this is one of the reasons I loved this game, is every time I most over somewhere, I knew what was going on. Oh, it contains an upgrade plan? I'll go and check that out. These forts, obviously worth taking over, and then they upgrade your naval contracts, which got me those pistols. Every island has so much to do that every time we visit one of these places, and you can see there is a lot of them, you're there for an hour or two, okay, working on things. You can see this has got so many things to do. It's got unlockable taverns, which will give you information regarding fleets. Every tavern you unload will then tell you the location of a royal fleet, like this one, a royal convoy, and whereabouts it is. The tavern owners will tell you that after you unlock the tavern. So you can go and hunt them down and make some nice money. That's all they're for. So we'll visit, we're near Nassau. We'll go to Nassau. Nassau's a nice place. It's not really. Nassau's fucking disgusting. Absolutely horrible location. It really is. It gets so bad throughout the game. Nassau is a very, very sad state of affairs. Again, with the transport stuff, you can see that it adds all that stuff to you. So, yeah, Nassau's not the prettiest of place. But compared to the island I showed you initially, you can actually see the fucking singular size of this place. It is huge. Okay? Nassau is enormous. And you're going to spend so much time here traveling around. This fort, I've liberated this fort. This fort was under English control at one point. It's an entire fortress. It's the one up there. Really cool that you'll spend your time just going around and just getting on with things in the town. There's so much to do here. There's actually hardly any icons here now compared to when I started. But you had 7 viewpoints. You had the tavern to find and unlock. We had assassin's contracts, which takes place in these swamps. We then have to assess what kind of animals are there. So we've got rabbits, crocodiles, and I believe pigs again. And then you'll have to find these and fight the crocodiles. You actually have to fight them, skin them in order to get your upgrades. There's a warehouse. Warehouses, these are side stuff. So you'll come down here and you can actually find the key to the warehouse and then loot it, plunder it, as it gets used more than enough in this game. And you'll spend a good couple of hours here easily just getting everything done. If you want to, which is again the great thing, if you want to do it. Well, if I don't want to do it, then don't. It tells you what the reward is for doing it. Do you want to help the Brotherhood of Assassins? If you do, then go ahead and do it. And the Brotherhood of Assassins will pop up later in the story, and you'll have to do these complete other side story, which is really lengthy, really interesting, and you can choose to do it or not. You'll get our reward, and it'll tell you what the reward is, and if you want to do it, that's fine. But if you don't want to do it, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. So, ship combat, which is the other thing that I want to show you about. I think I've shown you enough of the game to sort of intrigue you as to how large this game is. And again, to reiterate that I did all this stuff. I was only 20% into the story easily before I did that. Now, the ship combat and the combat in general has had some stick from other places that I heard about this game. First and foremost, people were moaning that the combat is too easy. What I would say to that is I am totally fine with it because you do so much combat that it would be a real pain in the ass if the combat was more difficult, to the point of just being tedious. There's a few enemies that can only be attacked after you counter them, or break their defense, as it's called. You have to sort of parry them. Then you can attack them. And when you come up against those, you're just like, I can't be arsed fighting you. I have to kill so many other people that it's not in my interest to spend time doing this. So, as I said, my Jackdaw is the scourge of the fucking seas. So, these level 8 schooners and whatnot are a total waste of my time. I will literally kill these in one hit, and they won't even give me the chance to board them. So you probably notice things like the bull sharks and stuff. These are going to be harpooned. You'll swim to these locations. You'll see the whales, and then you'll actually get out of your boat in a little whaling thing and start harpooning them. Again, just wonderful side activities that are a ton of fun. So enjoyable. Now, we want to go to the hard locations. The way the world works is during the north, it's quite easy. You can see Tortuga and whatnot is easy locations. You can see that at the top. And then it goes medium as it gets down here. And then down in the south is where it's really difficult. So if we go to... There's a lovely fort in the middle of the ocean around here. There it is. In fact, I don't want to go near there because these are the legendary ships. Not really worth me fighting those now. You kind of have to learn them. They have a boss mechanic. And I'm serious in that. They either chase you and try and ram you, in which case you've got to use specific sets of skills. The weather is not bad. I'm really hoping to show you a storm. The fog's picking up a little bit. But I'll show you the ship combat anyway. Because, I mean, this is what I was saying compared to Bioshock Infinite. You can see the moon reflecting there. Of how gorgeous this game is. Even when it gets dark and dreary. It's almost so macabre at times that you really have to worry about it. So here we go. We got a level 49 man of war compared to those level 8 schooners. Now again, regarding the combat, the ship combat is fantastic. Because there's so many factors to take into account. Weather is one of the main ones. The main thunderstorms will have things like cyclones or sea devil as they're called. And not only that, they will also have rogue waves. And if a rogue wave hits you and you don't hit it face on, when it's coming at you, it will wipe out a good chunk of your crew and a good chunk of your HP. Now, I'll check the smoke effect. So I'll try and ride into my own smoke, although the wind's blowing in the opposite direction. And yes, it matters. Okay, the wind's blowing in the opposite direction. So I'm going to actually... I'm going to swing around her. Oh, she's going off me. Okay. Now, bear in mind, my ship is a real fucking badass. These ships will decimate you earlier in the game. But I can even drop mortars on them from a distance. And their health will just disappear quite easily. These are some of the hardest ships in the game, by the way. So, I should move into my own smoke a little bit here. Kind of. The wind's been very favorable. What you'll find is when the heavy waves start crashing down, and they do. I'm talking 40, 50-foot waves on a pretty regular basis. You'll be so much higher up or lower down than your enemy vehicle that you'll be struggling. So we've got another level 49 man of war here. Drop a mortar on him. And the weather is getting worse, which is awesome. This would be ideal for the video if we can actually get the weather to get bad. So I'll take out this other man of war. As you can see, if I hit correctly, I will find weaknesses in the vessel, which allows me to use these swivel cannons, which are targeted heavy hitting cannons, to actually really expose them. Those yellow circles on the floor are the ship actually dropping mortars on me. So what I'm trying to do is avoid those circles. They try and predict your path. They do a pretty good job of it as well. You can see that one was leading me straight into that. A swift turn. And we can avoid all that damage pretty much. And then finish this guy off. So in terms of the combat, the reason I say the combat being easy is actually a testament. You can see the smoke. Isn't this game beautiful? My god, it's good looking. It so is. Is when you start getting to these kind of vessels, you get a lot of multi-objectives to take them. So you can see here, I have to kill 20 crew members, I have to destroy the ship's flag, and kill 2 enemy officers. So I'll equip my swords, guns at the ready. Wait, you do get to use your swivel cannon for a couple of pot shots. See if I can... Ooh, remember it does revolve around dipping, so I'll try and hit these guys. Oh, there's one. Oh, I got him. Yeah, there goes your officers. Who's mad? Who's mad? You only get 5 shots of that. It would be nice if you could obviously just fire your cannon continuously, but you can't. But as you can see, if you've got 20 officers to kill, and you've got other objectives to complete, if the combat was more difficult, it'd be a real pain in the ass. And no doubt on this ship there are some brutes, which will demonstrate that. So let's go and destroy the ship's flag. The fighting did focus on a more cinematic aspect. I'm fine with that. Parry this guy. At some point, hopefully, we should be able to see me stab someone in the face and my guns shoot them in the face at the same time. It's always awesome to use the pistol guns. And you obviously get that very Pirates of the Caribbean feel here, which I'm fine with. I'm actually a huge fan of those movies. Probably a big testament as to why I enjoyed this game. Take down the flag. And then we're going to head on down. Now I know, for people who've already played this, there is a quicker way down here from swinging from a very high rope. I don't actually like it. I always feel a bit wary diving off the ship. I prefer to use the hook to make my way back down. Okay, so I've still got 13 people to kill. So, oh, nice assassin stab in the back. So you've got this very simple parry system. You'll notice it's the little red thing that pops above the head. Very much like Batman. Is when that pops up, you have to counter that. Like that. There's also a gun barrel there. I could choose to shoot it. But one thing that is kind of cool, actually, is that your crew dies, as you can see there. If I shoot that gun barrel, I will no doubt kill some of my own crew as well. And although you do pick up a large amount, you actually commandeer a lot of the crew from here. I'm going to try and find a bruiser. Should be one around here somewhere. Not you. Not you. They're big dudes with axes. Where are you? There's one. Over in the distance. Now, just to give you an idea, when the combat does get more difficult, is these become a real pain in the ass. They take times. Oh, that one died. That one was being attacked by one of my pirate buddies. Get out of my way. We got another bruiser? No. But they can only be attacked after being countered. Which does make them a little pain in the ass. And then when you start getting more than one of them at the same time, it's a real drag because eventually the other guys will kill you. So that's an idea of ship combat against one of the more difficult vessels, which is the man of war. Not too difficult considering how upgraded my ship is, but that took me a long time to get there, guys. Believe me. It took me a long time to get there. So then you'll get this. I can either use its resources to repair my ship, I can lower my wanted level, which is minor at the moment. You can see that little cross swords at the top, barely red. Or I can send the ship to my fleet. I'm going to repair my ship for now. I know we've got another man of war lying in the water. And that's how a ship combat works. In fact, there's another 49 man of war coming up on me. So I'm not going to bother too much more ship combat. What I'll do is get into the sailing and show you a bit of that. Because it's very much, it reminds me of Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Which is, you know, at times in Vice City when I played it, the thing I loved most about it is that sometimes I would just go off on my own and I'd just do some sailing. And you can do that because every section of this is gorgeous. Whether it's the lovely, this very still waters like we've got now, or whether it's the extremely brutal thunderstorms, and your crew sings these shanties to you and stuff. It's so chill. You don't always want to fast travel. Sometimes you just need to go out and spend the day sort of farming. Literally farming vessels, pirating, collecting resources. All your upgrades cost a lot of stuff like metal and whatnot. So you'll be actually spyglassing ships and saying, oh, he's got 105 metal, I'm going to go and kick that guy's ass. Or if, you can see this one, that only got rum and sugar, I'm going to leave you alone. I've got to say, there was many a day where if I came across a vessel that didn't have any that had metal, I should say, that guy was in for a very bad day. And very quickly you could turn it into an all-out war. The water effect's tremendous. And you can see that the water crashes over the bows and it will affect your deck. If we can get up against the wave, you can see the water crash over your deck. And when it gets really thundery, you'll actually see your crew trying to brush the water away so they can get on with their duties. We're not going to hit a thunderstorm today. The game is too cheery for me, which is a shame. But still, it looks as good anyway. Assassin's Creed 4, guys. It's cheaper on the Game Fan Shop via our link if you want to check it out. But if you're looking for a AAA game and you're not sure whether it's going to be worth your money, I can absolutely recommend the crap out of this game. I thought it was fantastic. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you again. Bye.